Now on to some exciting stuff. We are being promised an expert panel masterclass in generative AI and invite Kalindi, Mehta and Angad Chowdhry to join us on stage. Kalindi is Global VP of Estée Lauder. She brings 25 years of experience in understanding the consumers around the world, and she helps compose, anticipate, and create the future and drive transformation. Welcome, Kalindi. Angad joins us, founder of Quilt.AI. Please take a seat. And when I asked Angad what he wanted to share about himself today, he said he is Singapore's champion powerlifter, and he has a PhD in anthropology and with a specialization in crime. This combination is exactly what we need to understand generative AI. You stand, right? No?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, MR, for bringing such a great community together. We really appreciate it, and thanks for giving us some time. Kalindi will speak about her work at Estée Lauder, and then I'll try and add some value after that. Could I request the AV room to please start the projection?
Play. Just put it on slideshow. Okay. Yeah, that was such a great start to this afternoon. I am so inspired by Naveen, and right now my imagination is going wild, and I'm not sure how long I want to work for the Estée Lauder companies. You know, I've got a lot of startup ideas going around in my head. But let's get started, moving to the first slide. Yeah, so the beauty world, and I'm sure all of you have seen it around you in your families and your kids, is really changing super fast. There's speed of new products, new content, new looks, new innovation. It's at the speed of light. The pace of change has never been this fast. And the expansion, there's so many different influences on beauty. In the past, it used to be about fashion influencing beauty, but now it's influencers, social media, health, wellness, sports, video games, and all sorts of things that are driving the world of beauty. And the cultural landscape is evolving. It's no more about just culture and local culture. It really is about getting the best in beauty from anywhere around the world, whether it's Korea or Japan or Brazil or India. But at the same time, what's interesting is everybody wants things that are for me. I will not engage with you unless I have something that I need specifically for me, relevant to my specific needs. So in this changing beauty world and dynamic, that's where we really have to win and compete. So the Estée Lauder companies, as many of you might be familiar with, is the #1 prestige and luxury beauty company in the world, competing in skincare, makeup, hair care, and fragrances. We have about 20 plus brands, and we compete in 150 plus markets around the world. And moving on. So in the recent years, we have really increased our investment in technology, in data, in analytics, in AI. However, the enduring strength that we have, and that's always been the case, is building high-touch, personalized consumer experiences for our consumer that's meaningful and culturally relevant. So what Gen AI is helping us do is really we are focused on elevating our core strength and doing what we always did really well in this fast-changing, dynamic beauty world. What Gen AI is helping us do is, companies like Estée Lauder have so much of data, proprietary, rich data, and Gen AI helps translate all that data into meaningful, relevant consumer experiences at scale and at speed that you need to compete in this beauty world. So now, with Gen AI, we can deliver unprecedented, precision marketing in real time. It's at up-leveling our efficiency, but not just about efficiency, but even enhancing the quality of our experiences. So what is reality now? And it's not just on a slide. We've actually got success in terms of our business in this, is moving to a more agile, end-to-end, nimble, data and insights-driven world that can take less than a few seconds or minutes to deliver these experiences and execution. For example, we can discover trends and discover insights, ideate using Gen AI, create concepts, create communication briefs, build creative assets, activate it, and then even measure success in a few seconds. It used to take us months before to do that. And we are not compromising. Yes, it's quick and it's speedy, but we are actually elevating the quality by being more consumer-focused and data-driven. How are we doing all this? We have a range of different partnerships with different kinds of companies. And there are so many ways of doing this, right? You see so many different LLMs, so many AI tools, tech companies with different platforms. So how do you really play this game? Everything looks similar. So I think that two things that I would advise you, right? One that we follow is start with the problem first. What is the challenge that you're trying to solve in your company? And then find the right tool. It's not about the cool tool. It's about solving the problem and finding the right partner who's going to help you solve that specific problem. Second is piloting. Building pilots and building the analytics to understand how successful your pilots are, and then scaling up. So we had multiple different pilots going on, and we've actually got some great analytics and results on some of our key pilots, which we've now scaled up, and we are seeing success. Whether it's partnering with enterprise technology companies like Microsoft and Google, or niche specialized companies like Quilt.AI, and then we partner with academia for talent upskilling. And again, as I said, this is not just on paper. We've actually achieved success in market, and leveraging Gen AI. Our trend activation has gone from, the discovery process has gone from months and weeks to a few minutes, and then we can activate a trend quickly and see results in 4 weeks. Here are some numbers and examples of this brat summer trend makeup. It was trending, and we were able to quickly act upon it through our makeup brands and see results. And the same for, and then you can quickly scale it up. You don't just do it at scale. Don't just do it amongst a few influencers. You can scale it up to a number of creators, build so much more new content, and get that earned media value, which used to take months to achieve. And again, while this was a US example, the power of Gen AI is you see companies like us, we have 20 brands, so many categories, 150 markets. You can do this across brands, across categories, across 100 markets quickly and at scale. That really is, and you can see results that are substantial and not just small improvements and changes. So I'm going to take you through an end-to-end value capture study. The way we think about Gen AI is not about getting one tool. It's about understanding what's going to help drive business results. What is that end-to-end process to getting to value? Let's talk about how do we activate beauty trends, right from sensing. I'm going to take you through a video that shows how we discover trends. We match trends to our products. We have hundreds and thousands of colors and types of products, and how do we match the right product to the trend? How do we create a brief for a concept? And how do we link that, build creative assets? Then we activate, and then we measure success all together as one process super quickly. Have a look at this video now.
Estée Lauder Companies is transforming trend activation, empowering teams to react now with groundbreaking tools that streamline trend discovery, matching, and concepting. TrendSense is a digital trend board that enables teams to discover top trends in 18 markets across beauty categories. It is updated with new trends monthly, informed by a robust process that marries AI and human intelligence. Teams can deep dive into each trend, discovering content creator videos, real-time data, leading hashtags, and more. When teams identify a trend to activate, they use Claims Connect to match to products. Claims Connect revolutionizes our product claims data, empowering global teams to search against product claims. Teams then navigate to Concept.Create.AI, which utilizes generative AI to create new human-like concepts that seamlessly bring together the trend and product. Multiple concepts can be generated within seconds. Claims Connect allows teams to discover legally approved claims matching trends for a product. To optimize, teams can use the Generative AI chatbot capability to refine the copy, integrate approved claims discovered through Claims Connect, and instantly translate to local language, making trend activation easier, faster, and more streamlined than ever before. By leveraging data, AI, and augmenting with human creativity, we are supercharging speed to market and unlocking exponential scale, empowering ELC to win in trends to action execution and achieve excellence.
So that's something we have. Yeah, that's something that we've deployed and has been actively used by multiple countries and by multiple brands in our portfolio. So a few key takeaways and a few tips maybe as you start on your AI journey. Always, there are lots of tools and cool stuff out there. Don't go with FOMO, Take a measured approach. Start with the problem first, right? And not with the solution. And once you have a problem, you'll be able to find the right partner, the right tool to help solve that problem. And if you start with the problem first, it also becomes easier then to deploy it amongst your employees and to get that ROI. So always start with the problem that you're trying to solve first. Second, and I think Naveen set this up really well, it is not about AI replacing humans. It is about what you can call it augmented intelligence, you can call it collaborative intelligence, a new term that I learned today, but it is, the exponential power when you bring AI to the human is incredible. It's not about diminishing human intelligence, it's about enhancing it, and human intelligence can enhance your AI. So even as you're building your AI capabilities, think about it as a teammate, which I love the term as well, or a co-pilot for your team, and that's how you can make it really successful and get ROI. And end-to-end for value capture. Don't just think about AI for one task. Well, let me do it for discovering, or let me do it for creation. Think about the entire end-to-end process of how are you going to capture value for your business, and how are you going to use AI at each of those steps to get to that end-to-end enablement process. Pilot to scale, there are lots of tools, LLMs, et cetera, out there. So keep a number of pilots, experiments around, and build in an ongoing, rigorous kind of analytic approach to measuring the success of each of those tools. And then, the right co-innovation partnerships, right? So don't just make this about, let me go to a vendor and get a tool, but build these partnerships with key, AI partners, and bring them in not just for a tool, but for that end-to-end process enablement, because the answer may not be ready-made. You have to build something for the problem that you're trying to solve. It's not about this or that. Oh, I'm going to work only with this. Find your range of partners, whether it's enterprise, technology teams, companies, or niche companies, or academia even. And lastly, talent, right? Of course, for all of us in the room, we know that if you're not learning, no matter what your experience is or how senior you are, if you're not learning every day, really, we are dying professionally. But I think for our teams and for our companies, the way we are thinking about talent upskilling is not just about theoretical, let's send people for these AI courses, but about focusing on adoption of specific use cases, adoption of specific end-to-end processes, and how AI is likely to enhance those processes and train the team on adoption. That results in the best ROI and upskilling of the team. On that note, I'm going to hand over to Angad, who is going to take us through some exciting stuff from Quilt.AI.
Thanks, Kalindi. You're running away. She doesn't want to have anything to do with me now. So I'm really glad Kalindi showed you that, and it looks really sexy. But what she didn't tell you is we brought her a generative AI application in 2019. And she was horrified by the results. Because like all technology, while it's super easy to get in it now and build wrappers on top of LLMs and set up a business like the previous speakers alluded to, we've been in the business for about 7 years. And in that, we've learned a lot of things. And I want to share some of those lessons with you, in particular, lessons around large language models and building enterprise-grade solutions for clients like Estée Lauder. I don't know the distribution of knowledge in this audience, so I won't geek out a lot, but I will use some technical terms, and I will try and make it a little metaphorical at some point so you understand some of the concepts, and I'm happy to get into deeper discussions later. So there are 3 stages in building an application or a system like this. The first stage is, of course, in what is called training systems and training machine learning algorithms. The second is, of course, around deployment and testing. And the final is around quality checking. So those are, I think, 3 vectors that you need to keep in mind. So whether it's in the trend application that Kalindi showed you, or it's in the trends to product concept application that was shown, these are the 3 principles you need to follow. Now, there are some details in following those principles, and I have to be honest, we're dealing with human information. So every time you train a neural network or you train and fine-tune a language model, you have to bring in human data, and in many ways you have to bring in company data. Now, company data, and you can open up your laptop, is not very organized. You have emails, text messages, internal knowledge. Your file names are like final version 2.pptx, right? So there is a lot of there is a mess. Now, a lot of companies and AI technology people feel that mess is a bad thing. But in that mess also resides a lot of interesting knowledge. All our files and all our data structures are representations of us as people. And we as people are messy and disorganized and have stuff in our pockets and like little notes everywhere. And it's obvious that at a scale of Estée Lauder and some of the other companies we work with, the data structures are going to be messy. So I think that's one thing just to keep in mind, that when you build a generative AI application, you have to deal with converting this mass of information into something useful and machine readable. So the way you do that is, while your chat interfaces make you think that machines are talking in language and in English, what they're essentially doing is converting your content into what is called mathematical vectors. So a machine doesn't really understand English. It looks like it speaks English, or whatever language you're interacting with. It's essentially working on what is called a latent space of mathematical vectors. So you have to take all of this company data, you have to extract the tables, you have to extract the charts, you have to extract the knowledge that Kalindi's team has, and you have to convert it into a very complicated mathematical database, which is called a vector database. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is large volumes of data are not necessarily always going to improve quality. Large volumes of data actually create more challenges for a machine because there are nuances and contradictions and all sorts of little things that happen in large databases, and the machine really doesn't want to spend too much time working on your problem. It often gives up and comes up with the simplest possible solution, kind of like me, right? So I think a large volume of data can very easily dilute focus. So you have to also organize your vector databases in different ways. Then there is, of course, company biases and company tastes and industry nuances. Now, all of that is not inside a file, right? Your perceptions of things are not all written down everywhere. So internal data and human intuition has not been designed for generative applications. It's been designed for human consumption. And in order to convert it to machine-readable format, there is a lot of work that actually has to happen. So I think the short story is, we are messy, our data is messy, machines do not appreciate that, so you have to almost convert human information into mathematical notations that a machine can understand. The second piece is around outputs. Now, you saw a trend application, you saw a concept application, and a trend has an interesting cultural insight and an observation and routines and makeup. A concept has a product innovation, a reason to believe, and all sorts of things. We all instinctively know what these things are, right? But what is a trend? What makes a good insight? What makes a good product? What does a brand mean? These are very creative components. They're very human components. And they follow their own internal logic and have their own sets of internal principles and tools. So having to convert that is more of an art than a science. Finally, there's the problem of scale. Now, when you go meet folks about making a generative AI application for them, and Kalindi is also guilty of this, I can do this in 5 minutes on ChatGPT. Why is it taking you like 3 weeks? The fact is that ChatGPT and all of your chatbot interfaces that are available to the public are very, very good at answering questions rapidly. But if you ask it the same question 1,000 times in the same instance, which is what an enterprise application does, you will get diminishing returns and a regression to the mean. So ensuring originality and creativity is actually a lot harder than it looks. And this is the dirty secret of that piece. Like our perception, so I'm sure your perception of me has changed over the course of this session, but like human cognition, machine cognition is also shifting. AI models are, of course, new models are always being launched, but if you go on social media, you'll hear things like, oh, ChatGPT is not working today, it's not giving me good results, because the internal logics of these things are a lot more complicated than we understand. So we have to stay ahead of the curve and constantly optimize our data structures, the filters that we put on it to make sure that these models give us the results that we want. And I don't want to sound weird about it, but you have to get a sense of the model's soul. And you only get this if you spend a lot of time at them. Finally, there is the issue of contradictions. So let's say we find a great trend for Kalindi, like Brat Summer, and the brand cannot have anything to do with that. And in many ways, a human will be able to discern between those two things and make a decision. Machines are not very good at that subtle discernment between one set of values and another set of values, especially when they contradict each other. And we have to figure out ways in which, whether it's through generative adversarial networks or it is through the agent ecosystem, we have to almost teach it like a humanities logic of going through thesis, antithesis, synthesis, and working out contradictions in and of itself. So that's really how an application is built. Now I would like to take 2 minutes to show you a very interesting video of what this looks like beyond the Estée Lauder ecosystem. So every day, millions and millions of pieces of information on TikTok, et cetera, are being generated. All of that inside it contains a lot of very significant human data. And in many ways, one of the systems that we are building now has been designed to increase empathy, because the more you know about people, the more you can understand them, and that's just a good thing in general. So this example I'm going to show you takes information that's spread all over the internet, looks at the video, audio, text, all of the information signals inside that, extracts content from it, and then, if we're lucky, creates a generative video out of it. So the final demo.
The world is busier than ever. We're surrounded by tools claiming to reveal the truth, information aggregators and next word predictors. But what if you could do more than just observe the obvious?
These are all of my favorite baritone lip products for dark skin.
What is that?
See, a berry
Babes,
lip
I'm confused too.
First,
I was hella confused. But with some research, I got more understanding of it. Because let's be real, I understood it all.
Don't drown in the data. Let our AI navigate the information sea for you. Our AI is multimodal, analyzing gender, location, velocity in audio, video, images, labeling, and storing everything. We synthesize voices from around the globe into real opportunities ready for you to explore. Simply choose the insight that resonates with your brand and let the AI take over. Communicate and engage at the speed of thought. Need content for a specific platform or brand? Ask the AI to create a storyboard built on your chosen idea. Get a ready-to-edit script and storyboard instantly. Discover, fine-tune, and publish your vision. Stand out in a sea of content. The distance between discovery and action has been bridged.
Try Lash Revolution, the mascara that transforms.
That's about all the time we have for you. Thank you. We're available for questions, and if you want our website, it's Quilt.AI.